Okay, tonight, I thought I would go over the job deconstruction, tricky job deconstruction thing. I don't think I covered it very well last time. There seemed to be a few people got it, but most people didn't. So I think my presentation of it must have been not as good. But what I decided to do was to make it more of a what kind of fill in the blank kind of worksheet thing, so that hopefully it makes it a little bit more, a little bit easier to kind of put it all together. All right, so let me change views here. Okay, let's see. What's wrong here? This is crooked. Okay. Well, tonight, I thought we'd actually just do an actual job. So actually, Sean, you are looks like you're the only one that showed up so far anyways. If you want, we could put in your job and use that as our example. If you'd rather not do that, that's fine too. Okay, well, I'll just put in a job that something that'd be similar to what a student might have. Okay, so let's say that we're going to do the job of let's say I don't know, entry-level management job. So I got these new pens and they got this coating like on the end of them. All right, so let's say that we want a entry-level management job. Okay, so so when we graduate, we're going to have our degree in management, or we obviously if you have a different degree, again, something different in there, but the idea is going to be exactly the same. So, what are we doing here? So what I'm going to do is go to Google and let me share my screen here. Well, that's strange. Oh, okay. And so what I'm going to do is just type in our that's not how you spell level. All right, and usually they kind of, as you guys know, in Google, usually you get some advertisements up here, and then kind of moving down, we'll see entry level management job. So here's one for Indeed. So we'll take a look at these. Now, as you go through these, you can kind of pick and choose which ones, if you're not really into sales, maybe that's not what you're looking for. You probably won't want to do that one. But here one says management trainee. I'm going to open that in a new tab. That's a kind of event. These are kind of all over the place, but you probably want to narrow it down to your area. But it doesn't really matter. We'll go open up these and see what they are. And maybe we'll go to a different one and see if we can find some more, say, ZipRecruiter. And again, you're going to go through these and see if there's maybe, okay, here's one. And again, you're looking for the ones that are management, and usually, you know, something that you would use, whatever it is you're looking for. You can't go through here. Okay. Okay, so I got 6 of them now. I got 3 from Indeed. And 3 from ZipRecruiter. Okay, so let me jump back to this. Okay, jobs. You know, this thing looks kind of dark. Okay, so it looked like the job search sites that I found were Indeed, ZipRecruiter, if there's anything else here I missed here. Throw in one. Simply Hired is another one they had on here. So these are the job search site I'm going to use. So these are the sites that I'm going to send you know, they're going to get my cover letter in some form. I should say resume first, probably. So, you know, these are going to go to, you know, all of these. Now, they probably have their own forms to fill out for you to fill out for different ones, but basically, you're going to send all these people your information. Okay. Now, this is where it gets, where the job deconstruction comes in. When you send into these sites, obviously you want to be hired or at least called in for an interview, that, you know, so they find your name. So what we're going to do is go through our listings and find those things that are in the job listing, those skills or keywords that they're looking for. And so when we do that, we're going to then use these in our, you know, to come up here and to go into our resume, cover letters, probably not the references, but. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to share the screen again. Okay. All right, so let's take a look here. So benefits, education, they don't show much here. Well, they do show that they will need a bachelor's, so we will make sure we put that in. Okay. Okay, now let's take a look at this one. This one's entry level management. We're looking for to collaborate, develop, and be leaders. Okay, so one of the things that we're going to have in there, they want to be leaders. Understanding of our values, business standards, let's work a fast-paced, energetic environment. Okay, what we'll do, qualifications, 1 or more years of work experience or a college degree. Experience leading a team. Enthusiasm. Okay, going to the third one. Okay, third one, bachelor's degree. Planning. Oral communication and critical thinking. Dependability, reliability. Professionalism. Oops. This one looks like a sales job. I shouldn't have picked that one. Okay, here on team environment. Okay, that's experience leading a team. We got team in there already. Leadership. Now, leadership may not be a, you know, you want to make sure that when you're doing their, you use exactly their words, try to use many as possible. Okay, let's go to the next one. Customer service. Over here. Okay. Well, let's go back to our thing here. So kind of going through here, trying to figure out which ones to, that you can possibly combine. So bachelor's degree, you might put in something along the lines of college. I earned my college degree, bachelor's of management or whatever it is. The reason being is that you want to use their exact words. Okay, so up here we have leaders, leadership, and leading. So you'll notice that those are all very similar, but someone might do a search, one might do a search on leaders, one might do a search on leadership, one might do a search on leading. So these are, while they all mean the same thing, you want to use exactly their words for your, to drop into your resume, cover letter references, because they may be doing searches. These three different areas, three different groups may do the same for the same thing. Okay, college degree. So anyway, so it looks like 2 people had those, 3 people had these. Fast paced, I think there was one that said that. Team, I think there was 2 that had team. Enthusiasm, planning, critical thinking, reliability, professionalism, customer service. One that had that. Anyway, so here are the ones that you're definitely going to want to put in. And it wouldn't hurt to throw some of these other ones in too. Those are actually things that people are looking for. So, and you never really know which ones they're really. So you could very well say, okay, well, this one's obvious. We're going to want to get a different color. So that's going to go in. This is obviously going to go in. Several of them asked for that. Fast paced, maybe the team one was mentioned a couple times. These other ones are not bad ones to throw in. And these are kind of easy to throw in. Say that you have enthusiasm for your work or something like that in your, in your cover letter and things like that, and critical thinking, reliability, all these other things. A lot of times these are kind of easy to work in. So for instance, this one is obviously going to be on your resume. Oops, smack the camera. So that's going to be on your resume. This may also be on your resume. This might be on your resume. Your resume is kind of like a list of things. So these would probably be on your resume. Trying to work those into your resume. The rest of these, lost a marker. Marker. I don't know. Okay, so the rest of these are probably going to be certainly on your cover letter. So this one. And these would be fairly easy to put into a cover letter. if this will work. Well, that's not bad. And there's nothing wrong with putting it on both. You know, there's nothing wrong with putting it in your resume, and if you also work it into your cover letter, that's fine too. But anyway, the point being, these words, you know, you're going to want to put those in your cover letter and your resume. So, and basically, you know, your resume is just kind of like your resume is sort of like a shopping list or so, you know, it's all your list of things you've done, your GPA, all that kind of stuff. And your cover letter is kind of there to kind of have your personality come through a little bit, but also address it to the company's needs. So when you get these keywords, we don't just get these for fun. We get these because these are the keywords we're going to put into our documents. You know, if this is what they're looking for, well, we want those in our cover letter so they find it. So, you know, all of this stuff is to be put into those two. And the idea is that when you post these, then on these sites, when you post it on these sites, that those things that those people are looking for will get hits. If you know, if they don't pull up your resume, if they do a search and they don't find leadership, they're not going to pull it up. They're not going to call you in. You want them to pull it up, at least give your resume to them. Hopefully they look at it. Hopefully they call you in. If it's not there, they may not. You may wonder, well, why isn't anyone calling me? Well, because they're looking for leadership, and if you don't have leadership in there somewhere, they're not going to call you up because that's what they're looking for. And you can say, well, they should change their ways. Well, they're not going to change. And so anyway, so that's the main crux of this. Why we're doing it. We're going to get those terms, and again, we're using exactly their terms that they used. You know, I don't say professional. You say professionalism. So somehow work that into a sentence. Professionalism. You may put professional in there also, but make sure you get the ism in there because someone very well might be searching for it. And if they are searching for it, very few people may have that in there. If yours is in there, you may be called into a very small group, which is good. Okay. So what you would do here is then go through each of these and say which ones were, you know, which ones are I use the most. So we'll say A, B, and E were used the most. Okay, so A was the education, was the bachelor's degree. B was leadership or leading or leaders. E was experience leading a team. So, you know, someone along with a team, leading a team. So let's say that you are lacking something. You know, let's say that you're lacking leading a team. So, you know, you go through these and you go, oh, here's the problem. You know, leading a team, I don't have that. I never led a team. Well, the idea is that hopefully you can focus your camera. No, hopefully you can get those. This thing seems too bright. Hopefully you can get that before you go in. Now, leading a team, you know, that may be a little bit difficult because you go, okay, well, I'm not in athletics and I don't play on a team, a real, you know, sports team. But there's all kinds of different teams. So one of the things that a lot of times you can get stuff like this in is by volunteering. You know, you can volunteer to, you know, work with junior achievement, or you can volunteer to work, you know, it could be anywhere. If you're your church, it could be for, whatever. And a lot of times, if you're a college student, you may have supervise other people. You could also volunteer to help, say, with park district stuff and all that kind of thing, where you may very well be leading a team. Again, it does not have to be, football team or something like that. They say team, they mean team in the general sense. So a lot of times you can make up for any of these that are missing before you graduate. So volunteering is one way a lot of times you can get experience. They say you must have experience with the public, and you never had experience with the public. Volunteer. Not only does the volunteering look good on the resume, but also it gives you those skills. Oops. And in this case, that you'd be on a team or a team leader. So again, you want to be able to put this on your resume, leading a team or team leader, so that you can, that your resume will get picked, because this is one of the big ones. They may very well be looking for this. I think two of them had that. So, this is one of the ones that you want to have on your resume. So try to get it. So just because you don't have some of these, don't think like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that job, or I can't do this job. Get it. That's and a lot of times, especially if you're going to school, you can volunteering is a huge one. And it doesn't have to be for volunteering for charities or anything like that. You can also just be on committees and that sort of thing that you would have at the school. So student organizations also. You may say, well, I don't like going to student organizations. Well, you don't have to like it. You're going to get the experience, and then you're going to, So anyway, so anyway, you kind of already mentioned this, but so the skills and keywords you're going to use in your resume and your cover letter. We talked about that here. These are going to go. And then those will be entered into the job search sites in step 3. We already talked about. So these are the job search sites. These are the keywords that you're going to put into those letters, that resume, for those. So this is actually the job deconstruction right here. What they listed the jobs, and then you deconstructed them. Like what parts made up those job listings, and so that's what you can put in. So really, before you do your cover letter and resume, this should actually be done first, or at least your cover letter and resume should be updated for this. You can, if you already have a cover letter and resume, just update it. You got these new pens, and you got this. They're like something on the end, so you don't jab yourself or something. It's hard to take off. Okay, so you're gonna have to update, that stuff. Okay, the cover letter. And the cover letter, I'm gonna go into a little bit because this is where I've seen maybe a little bit of stuff. Ooh, how blurry it is. Okay. Okay, first thing, cover letter. It's going to focus on the employer's needs. It is not a place for you to put all your accomplishments. You are trying to focus on the employer's needs. All right. The only personal accomplishments you should put in there are those that are related to the job skills or keywords, but if they had keywords in there that you thought, you've seen a number of them that you think should go in. So the cover letter should say employees' needs and employer's job skills and keywords. Okay. Suppose one of the skills required of employer is leadership. Okay, we've talked about this. We'll use blue. Okay, so you go through there. Leadership is one of the ones that they need. Okay, if you were the captain of the soccer team, you should relate that personal accomplishment as an example of your leadership. Now, you should come out and say that it is your leadership, that this is an example of your leadership. You don't just say captain of the soccer team. While that's somewhat impressive, it's not really going to do the employer any good unless you can say, you know, how does that help us? Well, here's how it helps you. So down here it says being the captain of the soccer team is not as important as a skill set acquired by being the captain of the soccer team. The skill set of the leadership is not exclusive to being captain of the soccer. Okay, so being the captain of the soccer team, well, it is an accomplishment. The most important thing is the skills that you got out of it, not being the captain of the team. You say, well, because those leadership skills, it isn't that you can only get these leadership skills by being captain of the soccer team. There's many different ways you can do it. You can be organized, fundraising, supervising employees, running youth camp, whatever. So the important thing is you don't just put a big list of your accomplishments in the cover letter. Only those accomplishments that can aim towards, not that one, this one. So only those accomplishments that go towards those keywords or skill sets of keywords. Okay, so if you can apply it to those skill sets, now, you know, again, this is where you get creative. How do you show that you have reliability? You know, whatever you state something in there, maybe even relating to this, that, you know, you have to be reliable to be a leader for the other people on the team or whatever it is. But anyway, everything you do should be related to these things in the cover letter. So the cover letter, again, it's not just about your accomplishments, only those accomplishments that you can translate into, you know, whatever skill. In this case, leadership, but it could be anything. So again, it's only for the skill sets. Any questions on that? Okay, so again, you know, hopefully this is, you know, after you do your, so this is kind of, you know, you do your Google search. So do your Google search, whatever your job is, you know, if it's you know, healthcare management or whatever it is, you put that in, do your search. First thing you're going to do is find which job sites have those jobs and whatever they are. I'd probably limit it to, you know, you don't want to get too many. If you start getting too many, it gets confusing. But you know, I would pick at least 3 good ones. LinkedIn is required by us, so that one's going to be in there anyways. And then going down here and yeah, Sean. Yeah, so in essence, the cover letter and resume are all about creative repurposing of achievements. Yeah, if you can do it, absolutely. You know, they want to have some kind of evidence that you know can do it. So yeah, definitely though, your experience, and again, you're going to want to, you know, put it into their terms that they have. So yeah, even though, yeah, if you were on a team, there could be a lot of these that come in there, you know, you could use. And again, the idea that you're on, you know, the team leader or whatever is somewhat less important than the skills that you get out of it. You know? So if you're a captain of the team or whatever, you know, so anyway, yeah, if you can, you know, showing the evidence of these things, and again, these are really nice ones to tuck into a cover letter because they're easy. You know, they're fairly easy to tuck these things in. You can do more than one. I'm enthusiasm. I have a great deal of enthusiasm for every job that I've ever had, and I'm a reliable and employee and all this kind of stuff. You can throw all this kind of stuff in there. So yeah, anything that again, your accomplishments or whatever that you put in that cover letter, you're going to try to put those into these key terms. Now, I think I told you this before. Don't put these terms in too many times. They now have human resource management systems, and a lot of times they will screen for multiple users, because it used to be that if you put the word enthusiasm in 50 times, yours came up first. If someone did a search on enthusiasm, yours came up first, and they kind of changed that. So a lot of times, if you put that in, it'll actually hurt your chances of being employed. So if you put that in 50 times, no longer is that helping you, that's hurting you. So, and a lot of the larger places are using these systems. So especially with a larger company, putting it in, less than 50 times is going to help. But putting in as many of these as you can. And if you put these in, you never know what's going to catch on there. That these are like hooks in the water. So the more of these you can put in, again, justifying it through your, whatever your accomplishments are. If you don't have the accomplishments, get the accomplishments. And so the more that you can do that for your job, yeah. Yeah, from military to go into the civilian, I think I think I would probably concentrate, put it into more into civilian terms. That would be a big help. They may not know what I don't know either. Well, if you were head of a detail or something like that, that may not mean anything to a civilian. But if you actually give a little more information on it, you worked with these people, you had you supervise these people, you work on this team, whatever it is. So I think if you concentrate on it, less of the military jargon that you're probably very used to and means a lot to people in the military, and kind of dumbing it down to us civilians who may not understand what it means. I think that's a big one. But I mean, yeah, and quite honestly, a lot of the stuff in the military is a much more extreme level than you'll find it in civilian. So yeah, obviously those experiences are going to be big, but again, I think that the most important thing is to explaining it like, basically explaining it like you'd explain it to, say, an 8-year-old. I mean, they're going to know some things, but they're not going to know, so how you explain it to an 8-year-old.